Hello there, dear listeners. It's Adam here. Just a quick note. The reason this episode's late is I have been trying desperately to fix the audio problems on it. Our recorder that we used, which usually records all the tracks separately, didn't start basically, and we didn't realise until we were quite deep into the episode, so we're having to use the backup recording. The problem with the backup recording is that mine and George's audio is a little blown out. It's not little, it's very blown out. I have done everything I can to try and make it more listenable, and at this point I'm just going to have to leave it. You have my apologies. I know this isn't the quality you expect of us. It's either that or I don't release a show this week. But I have really considered the idea of not releasing a show this week. It's not good. Well, I hope you enjoy this. This is episode 153, Are You Going to Skavenbough Fair? And my apologies for mine and George's audio quality. Enjoy.
I like big butts and I cannot lie. My brother likes small butts and cannot tell the truth. Each of us guards a door. One leads to an anaconda that is sprung, the other to certain death. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fluffenhammer. How are you doing?
Not every man lives. Every man truly dies. That's Takeshi's castle.
Oh my god. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, well, you know, given that there is definitely going to be a Slaneshi theme, I suppose that was inappropriate.
What, Takeshi's castle?
Wasn't it? Not that, no.
I like the idea of
man.
Slaneshi Takeshi's castle. That would be a great game
No.
show.
I am all up for Craig Charles doing the voice of Fulgrim.
Yeah, that'd be a turn up, wouldn't it?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Fluffenhammer. As always, I am Adam, and with me, of course, is George.
Hello.
I don't know which way around this is, so I'm going to point down.
No.
And over there is Andrew.
Hello, I'm on the far side, the other side. Point to,
I don't
point
care.
to you. Oh, I can't.
Somewhere generally on your screen at the moment.
They know where I am. I'm the one that is the moving picture, not the still picture, and not the the camera.
Mhm.
Yeah, there you are.
I am constantly amazed at how this room lights up when we're getting ready, that you have just a giant penis goblin right in the background.
Why is he
It's-
penis?
And no one ever knows. No one ever
No
notices.
one ever mentions the fact that he just looks like he's got a giant swinging knob.
Huh.
Just
Maybe
look
they're
at that.
not looking for dicks. Maybe it's just a you thing.
Again, we're kind of building up to the Emperor's Children release here, clearly, aren't we? Like, thematically, at least. You know?
Oh dear. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, I'm
Don't
sure
you
we
worry.
will.
Don't
I'm
you
sure
worry,
we
George.
will.
We'll arrive. Don't you worry
It's
about
just
that.
knowing, you know, it's just knowing that it is actually happening now. It's a huge release.
The terminology being used so far is disgusting.
Yeah, it's not going to stop now, I'm afraid.
Once you pop, you just can't stop when it comes to the
No.
Emperor's Children.
No, definitely not.
So how
That's
are you
kind
guys
of the
doing?
whole, you know, if you want to, like, condense their credo, that's it, really, isn't it?
You watch.
You know how the Index Astartes give like a motto for each of the Space Marine legions? That could be the Emperor's Children one very easily, I think.
What other?
Wouldn't it just be takes and receives?
Yeah, it would be like your profile on Grindr, wouldn't it? That's what it would be, the Emperor's Children.
I was more thinking of like just advertisement taglines that could be used for different Space Marine chapters. Death Guard, it could be you. Yeah. Unfortunately, Space Wolves, we could probably get Mum. That's why Mum's going to Iceland. Yeah, I can't really think of any others now, off the top of my head. Anyhow, so You guys, how are you doing? What did you get for Christmas? Did you get any hobby stuff for Christmas? I know Andy's been busy. You want to go first, Andy?
I was going to say, is that an indication for me to go? Okay, yeah, sure. So I got the Tomb King Bone Dragon thingy a while ago because it was on sale on In Demand Toys. So I got it for £34. Just like, well, that's not a bad price. I was like, yeah, why not? So I've built that, painted it, and the seat, and I've built the Tomb King on foot, and only briefly started painting him.
Wow!
I didn't want to make the dragon to have the priest riding it because I looked at people talking online and people said generally it's not a good combo. Right,
okay.
Because the mage is the priest is meant to be range, and if he's on a dragon, yeah, it's kind of redundant. Just put him on a flying carpet, said the internet, and I went, well, that's a fair point.
Right. Fair enough.
I didn't know that if you built the king on foot, that you would not have the parts to make a king for the saddle. So I then went into my bits box, pulled out an Archon, the black, which I had left over, and have begun snipping. I've got some Milliput, which I need to fill in his leg with, and it's too cold and wet to spray him at the moment, so it's going to be a little bit before I can fully complete the Bone Dragon, but it's on the way. Also bought some AK terrain desert sand for the base of it, and as usual, if you want texture paint, AK do the best stuff.
Oh yeah.
The best stuff, and at a really good price. Not sponsored. If they want to sponsor us, we'll take it. Right?
No.
I'll happily take it. Give me money, please.
AK is much better than GW and much cheaper. The only reason you should have GW texture paint is if you like Big D and you're having an unhealthy obsession with getting all of the subscription magazines. That's the only reason you should have them. But yeah, I've done that. I've nearly got everything I need now for 3D printing. I was actually sent the wrong heat tent yesterday. It didn't have the port for the vent in the back. So that went in the post to return today, and I had to buy it again. And that came through today, and I've got it, and I got the right one this time.
Good.
The shame was, I got the previous one. It was a used one, so I got a little bit cheaper. So it was a little bit more expensive this time, but it's fine. I've got the right one. I can put my thing in and keep the nasty smells and potentially poisonous fumes in the box and sucked out through the fan. The only thing I'm waiting for tomorrow is my extension cable, which will have USB ports, because I've got two things which are USB powered and had no way to power them. So pretty much by tomorrow, I should theoretically be set up to actually start printing. Maybe.
Nice.
Excellent stuff.
I have everything I need, and it's taken a while to get. You need a shocking amount still to get safe and get ready for printing. It's not just you get the printer and you go.
No,
you could do that, but it wouldn't. It's not recommended.
It's what I've been saying for a long time now, that it's still not like print and play.
No, it's a hobby.
Play, I suppose
people describe it as a full hobby because you have to be invested.
Yeah. You do. It takes a lot of work.
No one considers printing with paper a hobby because, well, most of that's a fucking rip-off printing with paper, unfortunately. I'm hoping the 3D printers don't go that route in the future where you get 3 prints and then it goes, whoa, you broke it. Good luck.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen a lot of 3D printers break. They don't take much to break.
Oh, yeah.
I don't just mean me. I mean other people as well.
I'm mildly concerned about my first print because I haven't been able to turn it on and test it. So there's the worry of is everything working on it? And there's the leveling process and all that kind of stuff. So that to figure out as well tomorrow.
One of the big things I think will work going forward. Don't try and increase the fidelity of the printing. You need to have auto leveling. Auto leveling is, this thing back here, it basically auto levels, but it was a really expensive printer. And it takes so much of the stress out because it's going to work out how to level itself out.
Yeah, I hear the auto leveling can be a little bit fiddly. I'll need to check online to see how you auto level mine or level it just in general, and then
one piece of paper.
Yeah, well, I hear that some it's like some require 1, some require 2. It depends on the printer. So again, I'm going to have to look at a video specifically for my printer just to explain what I have to do. Once I've got it all set up, I can do my exposure print and then figure out the exposures settings I need to do, and then I can get on and start printing some good fun stuff and start making more of a Tomb King's force.
Yeah. I do have to say as well, your bone dragon is absolutely stunning, man. It is really,
it looks
really
great. Really does look good.
I was really fucking dumb. I was really fucking dumb with how I built it. I made it harder on myself. I built the dragon and then stuck him to the rock piece. And if I hadn't stuck him to the rock piece, it would have been way easy to get the brush into most of the places. Getting the brush inside his ribcage was a pain in the ass, though, as well. His literal ass was in the way of my paintbrush most of the time. It was all right funny. Doing the jewelry was also a bit of a funny because it was fairly close to the rock base. But I was able to finagle around it. I'm reasonably happy with how it came out. And thank you again to Mr. Gruff to suggesting the color scheme, which at the time I didn't realize was the Joker's color scheme until I actually started putting the paint to model. And it works. It's a good color scheme.
Brilliant.
To be fair,
absolute brilliance.
All of my Skaven are green and purple. I use metallic purples and then really dark dingy greens for the fabrics.
Okay.
Very cool. Very cool.
Have you thought about clowning them up? Like quickly spray paint the face white and then red smile for them?
Yeah.
If I was going to do a clown army, I would use the Fire Slayers. Yeah, put big red noses on them, big green beards, and then they would be called the Slayprol Warriors.
Oh, would you deliberately go for like bits of cotton wool and glue the cotton wool to their head so it looked like a little afro, and then you could spray before putting on the head you could spray paint the cotton so it was like different colors and maybe rainbow colored, and then it would actually be textured as well, so you could like poke the little heads and go boop, boop.
Oh, brilliant!
Well, I am now.
That sounds quite fun. I don't know how you do the red noses. The red noses you probably have to green stuff, right? A little red,
just chop the actual nose off, and then just tiny little bit of green stuff in the bowl.
I mean, you'd have to be a bloody good painter to do it, but the various Joker color schemes would work really well in a Harlequin army, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't they? I mean, actual clowns for a start, you know.
To be fair, no one sensible who's starting off in Warhammer picks a Harlequin army. No one sensible. You hate you. I think you hate yourself if you go for these armies and you're a novice painter. You don't like yourself if you paint Harlequins. You don't like yourself if you're doing Eldar for the first time. You don't like yourself if you're doing elves, like any kind of elves. Anything that's clean. You want to make life easier for yourself? Dirty. Orcs work well. They're dirty. Death Guard work well because they're dirty.
Yeah, they do. But if you do start with the Eldar, like we did, then you learn quick.
I bet.
I can tell you.
Otherwise, you just get frustrated. I'd never do it. It's like that. Too much work.
But they were worse way back when. They were worse like back in Second Ed because they were just so
soft.
The sculpts were great. The sculpts were great, but they were hyper detailed for the era, but also very tiny compared to now, and also metal a lot of the time, so you couldn't see the detail a lot. You know, it was hard to pick out what you were painting.
Well, I think a lot of painters say the reason that it was difficult for the older models is because a lot of the lines are either implied or they're incredibly soft, like they kind of vanish off into the distance.
Yeah,
like a hard line just kind of spreads out, and you go, oh. I'm guessing that's just the process that they went from like clay, right? Making the clay molds.
Sculptor's putty,
Sculptor's putty, yeah. And I'm guessing it's just got lost in the actual making it from the putty to the actual mold itself.
Well, it's weird because the sculpts were 3 times bigger than the miniatures.
Oh, really?
Known as a 3-up. Probably. I've not seen one. But
the Warhammer Museum. That'd be great to see. I'd love to see the original sculpts for them.
Yeah,
especially
that would
like
be
the
good fun, wouldn't it?
Imagine seeing like a classic I'm pooping on a toilet not Gilliman.
Marnius Calgar.
Yeah, Calgar, thank you. Imagine seeing the 3 times bigger version. That'd be neat to see.
I am pooping Gilman. I'm going to sit here and contemplate the state of the Imperium.
Has anyone made a pooping Gilliman to match?
They must have done. Oh,
I am not Googling pooping Gilliman.
Must have done. Surely. it would take a lot of cutting and whatnot, but yeah, you could do that.
At the very least, someone could make a 3D model and then someone would 3D print it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have used him as a basis as a conversion for the Emperor, because he looks basically like the Emperor these days,
And he's already got the sword. All you need to do
he's got the sword,
the fingers. That's about it.
Now I get a Gilliman and replace his head with a tiny skull and just have my Emperor miniature.
I'll do.
I'm still wondering, because they will do it eventually. They've got to do it. When are they going to do the Sigmar model for Age of Sigmar?
I don't think they ever will. I think you'll have an avatar of Sigmar at some point.
Yeah, or something. I mean, if you've got Nagash running around, you can have Sigmar.
But you don't have any of the other Chaos gods, I suppose. Do you? I mean, you've got
the thing is, the Chaos gods are different from from the other gods. The other gods are mortals ascended to god status, and Sigmar is that. I mean, Sigmar is the first example of that.
I mean, do we have
if you've got Nagash,
is there a Teclis model? There is a Teclis model.
Yeah, there's a Teclis model. Do you remember? He's the one. He's the MC Hammer one. He's got really big pants.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Really big pants and a really big cat.
That's right.
We all know my theory.
The cat is the god, and Teclis is like a puppet,
Yep.
It's like an anglerfish, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Yeah, Teclis isn't there. Teclis never survived the old world blowing up.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you can have Morathai, if you can have
Alariel.
Malarian or Alariel, then there's no reason why you can't have Sigmar. I mean, bear in mind, Sigmar is still... He's not mortal anymore, but he's been beaten by a mortal multiple times. Archaon has kicked his ass several times in the setting,
I think it's the same reason that you would never get a Gorka Morka miniature, where by putting them on the table, you kind of lose some of the... Teclis is much more hands-on, so having a miniature of him on the table makes sense. Same. Morathai, very much the same. The greater demons of the Chaos Gods, it's understandable. But Sigmar and Gorka Morka, because they seem so hands-off for a lot of the setting, they just kind of, you go do what I want you to do, but I'm not getting involved. In Sigmar's case,
isn't it?
Because he's like cowardly custard.
He is a bit, isn't he? Because they never used to be. He used to be actively involved in the realms, right? That's the history of the realms, And the only reason he buggered off is because he lost his hammer. Because he was an idiot, basically.
Yeah. And of course, there's that entire thing in the old world where he was captured in the realm of chaos and couldn't get back out again.
That too, yeah.
Well, in Age of Sigmar, he's handed his hammer off to just a Stormcast, hasn't he? Unless that's changed.
Yes.
Yes, it was found. It was found, basically. A Chaos Sorcerer had it, didn't he? A Chaos Sorcerer of Zeech had it.
Well, no one's given it back to him. There's still a Stormcast who's got it. And I'm sure Sigmar will go, hey, give me back my hammer. If you wanted to be is clearly he doesn't. Can't be bothered.
Is it Garrus that's got it?
The last time I heard,
yeah. Is that who's got Sigmar's hammer at the moment?
Unless it's changed.
Okay, cool.
It's been a long time since I've heard of Garrus.
Yeah.
Last time I heard of him was before they reinvigorated the line, with this more slender Stormcast.
Well, yeah.
A long time. You probably
know
more
about picture of him coming down, wasn't there? The Iron Man pose.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was him.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure that was.
Was that pre-changing or was that post-changing?
Yeah, that was pre.
Okay.
That was pre. Yeah, that was the old style of Stormcast, the more sort of Space Marine-y Stormcast.
So he might not even be usable now, maybe.
I don't know. I haven't got. Have you got the Stormcast book, Adam?
I have it.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet.
Looks nice. I bet.
Yeah. It is the one that
I would be reading anything else.
Hey.
I'll get to that in a second.
Oh, the Celestian Prime has got it now. Okay, interesting.
Is that the lady?
Interesting.
That came along in one of the newer editions.
Pass. I don't know. I don't keep up with the Stormcast as much as the other armies.
There's a Stormcaster lame.
No, they're not lame. They're great. Lame. They're just not my thing. They're just not my thing.
Stormcast are infinitely more interesting than Space Marines, and I will.
There's a hot take.
I will sit on that hill. Yeah, I'll certainly.
Adventurous.
There's a thing where I can't ever say the term "I'll die on that hill" ever again because I saw somebody respond to that with "At least you'll be dead." As a result, it's kind of taken some of the thing off that. So
that is
it's
such a good response.
It's a brilliant response.
Oh, so good.
Goddess is still usable, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he is one of the more recent minis, isn't he? So that does make sense.
Yeah, that's cool. Very cool. I'll have to read the Stormcast book. It's sitting over there. I haven't read it because
it's the only fourth ed one. I've got it around here somewhere, but I haven't read it yet because I was too preoccupied with the Skaven one and then the Slaves to Darkness one, which is brilliant, by the way. I mean, really good, really good.
Yeah, I'm going to pick up the Slaves to Darkness one next month.
David, I mean,
Skavenbough, because it's the entire reason I actually wanted to do a show tonight. Is just
it is stunning.
Get you guys around so I can tell you all about how good this is.
It is a stunning book. I mean, they've gone full bore as a chaos book, right?
Oh god,
it really feels like one of the chaos, almost like the cult books, like the Maggotkin or the Disciples of Zeech and blah 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 blah.
They've expanded what the Skaven are beautifully. So they've had this like hinting at the Horned Rat being the chaos god of entropy, but now he's also got like these other parts to him, the chaos god of desperation, the chaos god of disaster and collapse. That's so cool.
It's really cool. He's got a lot of overlap with some of the others. Nurgle is the obvious one. He's got a lot of overlap with Nurgle, which is why they get on so well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which they do. I mean, they are slightly different in terms of emphasis. The Horned Rat he has an end game, doesn't he? Like, it's ruination, just like the desolation of everything.
That's the cool thing that comes out from this book, that the Horned Rat's entire... Whilst the Chaos Gods have the great game, the four Chaos Gods have the great game, and one will always be winning, and the other ones will like take over and dethrone and get out in front again. The Horned Rat doesn't have any of that. His entire purpose, his entire plan is to ruin everything.
Yeah, unsettle everything. Yeah.
What happens after that? I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't care. It doesn't care because that's the point, right? That's the point. Whereas Nurgle is about the cycles, right?
Yeah.
So yes, there's entropy, yes, there's decay, but then there's the rejuvenation that comes after. The cycle begins again. That's what Nurgle is about. He's as much a god of life as he is a god of death, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Whereas the Great Horned Rat is not.
No.
And that's where they start to conflict.
So he's live fast, die young kind of mentality.
Live fast, die younger.
Yeah. Life, fats, die yoga.
That's the one. That's what I was trying to get to. But I mean, the stuff in here about like Good King Nor, how the humans worship the Horned Rat under the name of Good King Nor.
That I love.
That's so cool.
That I love. The notion that he's become such an established god now, that there are human cults dedicated to the Great Horned Rat. I mean, that's brilliant. I really hope they keep this impetus up. I want to see in a future Slaves to Darkness book, I want to see the mark of the Great Horned Rat. I want to see Chaos Knights, Chaos Warriors of the Great Horned Rat.
Underworld team, right? Cultists of the Horned Rat, so they're dressed up as rat people.
Yeah,
they've got
poorly dressed.
Absolutely see that. Yeah,
totally.
And then it actually gets into the aspects of the Great Horned Rat, because he has aspects now. He's not just the Great Horned Rat. You have the Dark Innovator, the machine deity of gears and wires who mechanical eternally new designs for engine. You've got the what's it for the molder? It's like the flesh king or something, isn't it? The writhing brood sire. That's the one.
So cool. It's like he's taken aspects from each of the other powers. And incorporated them into himself. It's very, very fun.
Well, what they've done with him is they've made him learn. So this is the Great Horned Rat in Ascendance. Right now, the Great Horned Rat is the most powerful Chaos God, which is mental to me.
It's kind of interesting, right? There's much more flux in AOS in that regard. Like, throughout Fantasy Battle, it was always Khorne. It was always Khorne. Khorne was the most powerful, and that was it, But since the advent of Age of Sigmar, at the very beginning, Slaanesh was the most powerful. Obviously, coming out of the world that was, he'd absorbed all of the elven souls and gods, so he was so bloated and powerful, he completely overshadowed all of the others, which is why they ultimately helped to engineer his capture, because he was unbalancing the game, right? He was unbalancing the great game.
Yeah.
So he had to be captured. In fact, that is an interesting way they've rewritten Slaanesh in AOS. He has to be contained. It has to be contained because he has the capacity to be the most powerful of them and to overshadow all of the others because of that subtle shift in emphasis that he's had, where he's now the god of obsession and excess in all of its forms. He actually incorporates the aspects of the other gods.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing to see, and just to have the Horned Rat ascend basically into this really fascinating place where he's not just the thing that gnaws at the bottom of the throne of the other Chaos Gods. He's now, the most powerful of them. He's taking control of everything, and he's going to get dethroned, and I think he's going to get dethroned before the end of this.
Before the end of fourth, there'll be a campaign where, and also it's the nature of his power as well, isn't it? It waxes and wanes, right? A bit like Nurgle's. So there'll be the tide, and then it will recede again.
Yes, yeah.
That's just the nature of his power. He's very like Nurgle in that regard. There's the waxing plague, the epidemic, and then it just wanes again.
Who will unseat him, do you think?
Hmm?
Who will unseat him?
Khorne.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be something like that. They may even engineer the release of Slaanesh or something like that as the way of rebalancing the game.
Wouldn't it be fun if Nagash got his own back, finally? It was Nagash
that would be good, actually.
Yeah. Actually, is there any? I can't remember, Adam. Is there anything in the book about how Nagash is reacting to the Great Horn? Because he can't be happy.
Isn't he?
Oh no,
he can't be very happy about it.
He's still reforming. He's still.
Is he still reforming? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So he probably isn't entirely aware yet.
No.
But he's going to be very angry when he is.
He's always angry, though.
That's true.
He's in bed with a hangover at the moment.
Yeah. Like eternity, being immortal has not done much for him, has it really? He's a very unhappy guy, Nagash.
He never gets what he wants,
No.
He wants to get a Big Mac delivered. Doesn't get a Big Mac, gets a chicken burger or a fillet fish instead. Tries to make a great black pyramid. Falls apart because some rats play with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Does it again.
A couple of million, hundreds of millions of years later.
It's interesting.
All of his friends are assholes. Or his kids.
Absolutely. His friends all hate him.
Yeah. And his kids are assholes.
Yeah. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Ungrateful pricks, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's not his fault. It's their fault.
Apart from Catacross is actually quite loyal. And Arkan, maybe.
Well,
I mean, there's a bit of shade on Arkan now, isn't there?
I thought he was super dead.
Yeah, he got thrown into the void.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's super
dead
for now.
He was playable, though. I mean, he's still playable, so I'd assume that he's going to come back. Arkan had survived a fucking hell of a lot. I mean, he's older than the vampire count, so...
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, he didn't get killed. He's just floating in the void somewhere, so he'll find it. Maybe that's it. When the Skaven are tunneling through the void in the way that they do. I mean, that's just an amazing idea. They'll just accidentally drill into Arkan, and that's how he comes back. He just runs up one of these tunnels like you little ratty bastards.
That wouldn't surprise me. And of course, I mean, Nagash can't really function without Arkan, can he? Arkan's like his right-hand man. He's his seneschal, right?
It's funny. It's more like...
Arkan's
like
kind of the one that does all the work, isn't he?
Yeah.
Arkan's kind of the power behind the throne. He's the one who does all the work, let's be honest.
Well, I mean, Arkan was the one that tried to... what was the name of the Stormcast that died and got turned into the... was it the Knight of Shrouds?
Yeah, I know who you mean. I can't remember his name, though. It's been a few years.
Yeah, it was Arkan that was doing all the work there, just like turning the Stormcast into like this horrible, horrible Diddy dude.
Oh, brilliant.
What about yourself, George? Have you had any hobby time?
Oh, yeah, quite a lot actually, because I had a fair bit of time off over Christmas. I got at long last I got a box of Death Shrouds for my Death Guards, which I'll be putting together shortly. I love them. They're absolutely brilliant models. Got another box. Somebody got me another box of Plague Marines, so I'm going to have like 6 or 7 squads of Plague Marines by the time this is all put together. Which is great.
Are you just going to build them as a standard team, or are you going to like mush them together, do something?
Oh yeah, they'll be all weirded out. They'll have loads of conversions and worms and things.
Why don't you get them all and make the new ones that you got and make them into like a hell brute somehow by mushing them together? Yeah, make them just like a big old blob.
Yeah, just people. Lots of green stuff. Yeah, just. Yeah. That would be fun.
Yeah, because Minis recently did a giant Titan-scaled Great and Clean one. And they molded their own hands to give it hands and stuff like that. So it's not too small a scale, but you could do something like that with just like the excess little Marines you've got lying about. If you wanted to do something a bit different.
Yeah, I suppose I could. I mean, it works for the Death Guard anyway because they are infantry based, so it's good. The more Plague Marine squads, they are like, since their little update, towards the end of the middle of last year, they've become one of the best troops in the game because they're just so versatile and they're really, really good. So the more of them you've got, the better, really. I went back to my Thousand Sons for the first time in a while and started painting some of them. I started painting Araman. I've been mucking about with some of the actual Rubrique, the ghosty Marines that I've been doing. And I've just been doing the banding on them, doing that in metal. It's a base, it's black, dry brushed with gold and then highlighted with a bit of silver. That's been fun. That's been nice, actually. And I even started painting Magnus at long last. He's just been sat there, for ages. I've done his torso. So what I've done, base coated him just white, and then did the base of his flesh really deep blue, and then painted the raised muscle dark red, so it looks like it's glowing inside. It's like. So what I'm going to do is highlight up the red bits, but leave the blue in the recesses, so it looks like he's glowing with power.
That's neat.
That's cool. Yeah,
that's the idea. Anyway, hopefully it'll work out. That's the idea. I also got for Christmas. One of my Christmas presents was the latest Call of Cthulhu RPG book, which is really cool. I'm looking. Book. Yeah, I really like them. I'm looking forward to putting together. I mean, I've got a small birthday gathering for our mutual friend Ray Curran coming up very, very soon towards the end of January. And I'm hoping if I've got time, I want to write a little campaign, just a little thing we can do, or a little game, a little scenario we can do, because I want to show them how fun Call of Cthulhu RPGing can be.
Call of Cthulhu is. Every edition of Call of Cthulhu has been great. There's no argument to be had on that one. It is probably the most. How many editions is there? 3, 4 now?
Oh, Joy, Ray, Ray's fine, man. Ray's doing really, really, really well. See him very regularly.
And the only reason Call of Cthulhu isn't like my top RPG is because Delta Green and Blades in the Dark exist. And yeah.
No, I love it. I think in terms of playing and DMing, I think Call of Cthulhu is my favorite.
Yeah,
because it's just so. There's just something so sumptuous about it. That lovely, the horror you can inject into a Call of Cthulhu game, and I love it when the players panic. That is the best, isn't it? It's the best. Something is in the dark. Something is in the old mansion or coming at them out of a graveyard or whatever, and they panic. And that is the best. That is because a lot of, most players who play Call of Cthulhu are aware of how fragile they are. Because a lot of them, they don't even have weapons or anything really, do they? Not if they're playing it correctly anyway.
I had a boxer character many years ago, who I managed to roll like. I don't think it was quite at the maximum sanity you could get, but it wasn't far off. And so the way I kind of played him was that because of all the blows to the head he had, he just didn't register this stuff that was going on because he was just succeeding constantly on sanity checks. Just he never went mad. So it was just like, this guy's got horrible brain damage.
Yeah. That's wow. That's rare as well because almost all characters at least like go temporarily mad at some point in the game.
He never once went. I mean, he died horribly.
As they do, right? As
torn
they
apart.
do.
Yeah, he was in bits, but no, he never lost his mind. Even at the very end, when he was being torn asunder, he wasn't quite sure what was happening.
Well, that's the other thing I like about Call of Cthulhu, right? Everything is a threat. And I mean everything. Doesn't matter what you're encountering. It's very real in that regard. It's more so than... I mean, don't get me wrong, I love D&D and as much as anyone, the fantasy setting, but most things you face in D&D are not that threatening most of the time. You know, they're things you can take, right?
Unless it's Ravenloft.
Then you're fucked. But like, you know, in Call of Cthulhu, anything you come across just looking at half the damn stuff will send you mad, right? So, you know, the monsters, just animals in Call of Cthulhu. There's a stat, I was reading the stats for a bear, like a brown bear. If you encounter a brown bear in Call of Cthulhu and it comes at you, you are dead. You're dead. You are dead, unless you happen to have dynamite and you are lobbing it at the fucking thing. You are dead. It's gonna rip you apart.
I don't know if it was the current Call of Cthulhu or the one that was the last edition, but I played through the introduction game that came with it, which was it was all set in a shanty town, 1920 Chicago, set in a shanty town, and it was genuinely one of the most terrifying RPG sessions I've ever been through. It was, it was beautifully done.
That one where you're chasing someone, aren't you? Following someone through the... Yeah, I remember that because you're never quite... They're always like right, like ahead of you, aren't they? Like you can hear them, you maybe see them dart down an alleyway or something like that. And like a lot of it's under construction, so you can go like up or like scaffolding and shit like that, and it can fall. And I remember that. And he is something weird, isn't he? At the end, he's something really strange, if I remember correctly.
Didn't get to the end.
Fell
off a building and broke my neck.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you want to be killed by an eldritch monster, don't you, or a ghost or something? You're falling off of a fucking building.
Yeah, fell off. Took maximum damage, broke his neck. That was oh well.
Yeah.
Never was eating the children. Oh well.
I remember playing a session. This was years ago. Playing a session, and one of my compatriots had deliberately made a character who was shit at everything. Said it was for role playing purposes. It was set in like the 1930s. It was in Texas, and all of the other characters were these hard-bitten like veterans of wars and whatnot. They had they had flint in them. This guy was a British poet and a drunk, and he spent the entire time like falling over stuff, and it was phenomenally brilliant. It worked so well. It worked so well because everybody loved him. Obviously, everyone loved this character. So they kind of like the gruffer characters took him under their wing. You know, it was so funny. And he survived. I don't know how. He did go mad at one point, and he developed I don't know like aquaphilia. So he was obsessed with water. And he kept like if they came to a stream or a lake, he would like wander off towards it, and they had to drag him back away from it. I mean, just the most amazing stuff. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. But that's the kind of fun you can have, right, with Call of Cthulhu. And often failing the role is as fun, right?
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. A lot of the times it's more fun. Have you ever come across the Impossible Landscapes Delta Green adventure path?
No. Don't think I've...
look at... do I spoil anything for you?
Yes. Only a small amount.
Okay, small amount is you find very early on a building which has 6 floors during the day and 18 at night.
Oh.
And people on the everything above floor 7, they're all artistic types who have all been given a copy of a play called The King in Yellow.
Oh, no.
Never.
You know, it's very obscure. It's very obscure.
Oh, yeah, it is probably...
Shit.
I think, honestly, it might be...
No, I meant shit as in,
I thought
no.
you meant it's
is-
shit.
No. I mean, like, oh shit. You know,
Yeah.
The King in Yellow, the play that sends people mad and opens up doors to, like, eldritch horror. And it sounds great. Sounds great.
So you start off as a Delta Green agent investigating the missing artist, a young woman who's vanished. You find her on the night floors, but then you get invited to the party.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it goes places. Then there's an entire, I think it's 3 books. The second book, the first half of it, is spent entirely in an asylum that doesn't exist. And then you have to find your way out. And then in the third book, you start moving towards Carcosa, depending whether you want to or not.
Not, I think, would be the answer for most people. If you are entirely sane by that point, which, to be fair, you're probably not, right? So
No. It's a stunning collection, and they released the annotated King in Yellow. The annotated yellow sign to go alongside it, which honestly, it is well worth getting and well worth reading. It's an absolutely beautiful collection of books. I recommend them heartily.
I cannot take credit for this, but friend of the channel, Tom, my friend Tom, he has always threatened to write a Call of Cthulhu RPG scenario based on episodes of Scooby-Doo, which I think is fucking brilliant. It's just absolutely brilliant. It actually works, doesn't it, as well? You know, your team rocks up to the abandoned amusement park or the abandoned factory, right? And there's weird goings on. Oh, all the workers have gone because there's a ghost or whatever. It writes itself. Right? The only difference, of course, is that here it's not going to be some greedy industrialist in a mask. It's going to actually be a thing.
No. You have the greedy industrialist in a mask who is actually a cultist. And then you pull the curtain back and see the bigger problem.
That's it. That's exactly how you do it. You do the whole unmasking thing. You even do the whole unmasking thing, right?
Oh, man. Can you imagine playing a dog in a Call of Cthulhu game?
You have to roll to bark successfully.
Yeah.
Well, Ruggy, did you not know that jet fuel can't melt steel beams? It'd be a horrible character.
Yeah, it would.
I would happily play a conspiracy theorist dog.
One who doesn't believe that birds are real, yeah?
Did you know, Shaggy, that Australia doesn't really exist? Let me tell you about the flat Earth, Ruggy.
Brilliant. Brilliant. No, I mean, I'm so looking forward to it. It is, just reading the book is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Call of Cthulhu has never had a bad book. As far as I'm concerned, anyhow. Your mileage may vary, but every edition of Call of Cthulhu has always been stunning.
We'll have to do one, guys. We'll have to do like maybe a little scenario or something, or just it would be much easier to do, ironically, than say D&D. I find
Well,
much easier to put together.
I don't like D&D that much. I don't think the system's very good, and I think modern D&D has actually improved. The latest version, it's a lot better.
To be honest.
Yeah.
It's a lot more coherent than it used to be.
But D&D it's a weird thing because I understand it is the big one. It's the one that got out into the mainstream. But there are so many better games.
So many better systems.
Superseded it.
Finery is that much better.
Yeah.
Just play Pathfinder.
I would have said Pathfinder, but Pathfinder 2 is actually a slog of a game. It's
Is it? I haven't seen the
So the problem with Pathfinder 2 is it's very reliant on hero points, which are the things that you use to do rerolls and stuff like that. Because everything, whenever you do anything, it's a meat grinder. Combat is an absolute meat grinder. It's there to punish you. Which, yeah, absolutely. There's a time and a place for that. But not every combat.
Not every combat. It makes it a slog, right?
Yeah. Big time.
Makes it a slog.
I don't think it's a bad system in any way, if that's what you're after. If you are after a min-max combat-heavy type of game, it is perfect.
Yeah.
But I like weird narratives. Yeah.
Likewise, I like the more like investigatory stuff than the combat-heavy stuff.
I like the character stuff. I'm a big fan of RPGs, bringing characters out and you kind of getting to know and enjoy and fall in love with the characters and then get upset when their face gets eaten. Yeah.
Which, invariably it does in Call of Cthulhu, unfortunately. Sometimes they eat their own faces, it's just the nature of the beast.
You have read Impossible Landscapes then? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There was a man in there that had eaten his own face. He's just standing in the party wearing a lovely 1920s tuxedo with just blood pouring off where his face was.
It's kind of an interesting image, actually. Yeah, kind of an arresting image. I kind of like it.
I think he was a door-to-door salesman, if memory serves me right. It's so good.
I love as well. I mean, like, again, this is in the same game as the incompetent British guy. One of them had made like this really rough, bitten, like war veteran who he was very taciturn but very good at most things. He had a real handle on most things. The minute anything supernatural started occurring, it completely blasted his mind. He could not cope. And he made that the basis of the character. That shaking of his entire foundation became the character. And it was brilliant. It was brilliant. It was really clever the way he was playing it. So, of course, I mean, like, as the DM, obviously you reward that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
You reward that. That's the nature of the game. It was brilliant. It was genuinely brilliant.
I think my favourite character I ever played in Call of Cthulhu was Sir Hemmerford Grey. And if anybody gets that reference, I will give you a trophy of some description because it's a deep, deep bloody cut.
Yeah.
But it was a World War I veteran who had gone home, like won a cane, shell shock and all that type of stuff. But the moment he got home, his pater decided to have a brainstorm and move us all off to Mombasa. I was charged by Mount Rhino, don't you know? And every scenario would always just be, this reminds me of the time when. And it was just that kind of type of guy. As the situations got weirder and weirder, it was just into the big, this reminds me of the time I was stuck in Bangkok. I had 14 guns pointed at my head and I was trying to get a weasel out of the country. How does that remind you of this? Same kind of feeling, I guess. It's just...
That's brilliant. That's the fun, isn't it? That's the kind of thing you can do in Call of Cthulhu. It's great fun.
Yeah, I love Call of Cthulhu. Love it a bit. It's just such a majestic experience. It's so much fun. Would we then get on to some roundups of things that have been going on?
Sure.
More ramblings.
No, more ramblings.
So
what's your favourite RPG, Andy?
I really like Final Fantasy VII, which feels like the really basic bitch answer. In terms of like board game ones, I haven't played enough to say.
No,
not at all. I mean, Final Fantasy VII was epoch making, man.
It's really basic answer though. Everybody goes,
it was well,
I don't like remakes. Yeah, I think remakes pretty bad, to be honest.
I'm going to go Final Fantasy 9.
Oh wow, God, Catboy one.
Yes.
So Graph's into loves his cat voice.
I named him Zaz after the serial killer in Batman.
Really? Yeah. I mean, he does use knives, so I guess it's apt.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully the main character from Final Fantasy IX doesn't, murder women, but maybe he does. It's been a while since I played 9.
Who knows? Yeah, elaborately with knives. Yeah, let's hope not. Right?
He believes in gender equality. Kills men, kills women.
That's not the worst character I've ever named in a computer game.
Oh,
right. Do you remember? What the hell was it called? N64 games. Not Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
Right, remember Harvest Moon in the N64? Well, I couldn't think of a name for the character, so I just called him Bears with 5 exclamation marks. Because I thought, it'll be amusing for people just to be shouting bears and all that type of thing. How that game starts, you're reading your grandfather's will.
Yeah, that's quite amusing.
How is it in there? Somebody standing on a platform reading this will, saying, I, in sound mind and body, leave my farm to bears.
That's like an H.P. Lovecraft script. It's like he was attacked by the bears and they just noted it down.
Me and Glenn were killing ourselves, just absolutely dying. I don't think we got off the intro sequence for a good 15 minutes. We were just on the floor, absolutely on the floor. I leave my farm to bears.
Oh my God.
Right, yes.
Yes, right. No, Warhammer stuff, yeah?
Yeah,
Christmas.
Yeah, Never a Silent Night, the Imperial Hymn.
Yeah, this was really cool, actually. Yeah, loved it, actually. And they've, apparently, according to the write-up, they actually, for the first time, actually formalized Imperial Gothic to write this hymn.
Yep.
So for the first time, they did the Tolkien thing, basically. Yep. They actually made the language and made it work.
Yep.
So now, it isn't just some random collection of pseudo-Latin, you know? It actually works as a language now, which is cool.
There is enough stuff there for you to backwrite and work out how to do other things in Imperial Gothic now. Because they did the actual type, the actual lyrics, and then did a translation of the lyrics. So you've now got a cipher for working out Imperial Gothic.
Yes, how it actually works, which is
incredible.
Yeah, that's very impressive. And it was good. It was different, interesting, kind of clever. I mean, as a backdrop for playing Sisters of Battle or anything like that, it's going to be great fun, isn't it? You know,
well, it's just a backdrop for playing a game of 40k. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I was really impressed with this. It was
Me too.
One of those things where you just didn't expect happening, and once it dropped, I must have watched it about 5 or 6 times back to back.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I was kind of impressed. It was nice. It was an interestingly artistic thing to do for the season, I thought.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And
Christmas Carol next time. Next Christmas, I want a carol.
They need to do an orc thing, right?
Yeah! Oh my God, an orc Christmas Carol. Yes.
I kind of did that last year with the Goth Rocker.
Oh, right, okay.
Are you saying one's enough?
No.
I was going to say, yeah, more.
No,
more,
what I'm saying is that next year I demand a Nurglite Christmas.
That would be so good. Yeah, you could have a Sloppity Bile Piper, right?
That'd
singing.
Yeah.
That would be great. Decked out in Christmas stuff.
The shit version would be a Mechanicus Christmas, which would just be ones and zeros and internet startup sounds.
Oh, brilliant. Email sounds for presents, yeah?
No, I'm all for the Sloppity Bile Piper. I am dreaming of a brown Christmas.
Oh, God, yeah. It's got to be done. It's got to be done. I mean, like a Sloppity Bile Piper dressed up as in, like, Christmassy stuff. Yep. Brilliant. Like, with tinsel around him and, the Rudolph nose, maybe.
I like the idea of a Christmas carol, but, like, with Nurgle as Scrooge, except we only get the bit at the end where he's giving out gifts at the end.
He's nice. Yeah, because Nurgle's nice.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm going to give you a disease and you a disease. I'm not going to hoard these for myself.
You boy, what day is it? It's Sangladia, sir. Ah, good, I haven't missed it. They did it all in one night. They can do that, though, can't they? Go to the biggest shop you can find and just cough on everybody.
I like the idea that the orphan looks up at him, and it's just a shot of the orphan looking up, and just a big spewge of vomit lands on the child as he vomits on the orphan.
Yeah.
And I've got more where that came
brilliant.
from, little kid.
In fact, a Christmas Carol where the spirits of Christmas are the chaos powers would be fucking
Oh,
hilarious.
that's genius.
Nurgle as the ghost of Christmas present, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got to be, right? He's got to be.
We've got 12 months to get this written and performed, so yeah.
You could do a really cute version where, like, Scarbrand is going up to the table, and like Khorne is about to beat the shit out of him, and then he just cuts the turkey nicely instead.
Yeah, Scarbrand is really timid around Khorne, obviously.
Yeah. It's
The
like, it's
only
Happy
creature in all
Christmas.
creation.
It's Happy Christmas, Father. I bought you a new axe, son.
I quite like the idea of Khorne being the one that, come on in and know me better, man.
Yes, yeah, Ghost of Present, right? Ghost of Present, right?
Yeah.
That
one.
goes to Christmas
Yeah.
present, yes. Yeah.
Past Nurgle. No,
Nurgle's
future
got-
would be Nurgle.
Yeah.
Mm.
Past Zeech.
I always feel that, past could easily be Tzeentch, and then they just do a weird, sexy version of future.
I was going to say, yeah.
What for Nurgle? Weird, sexy Nurgle.
Oh my god! There's definitely something there. There's something that could be done with that.
Easy.
Birthday.
There is something there.
Oh, man.
I mean, future would obviously be Zeech. It would obviously be the Zeech one, right?
Yeah. Zeech
Present would be
make more sense
Nurgle.
future.
Present would be Nurgle because he's gregarious and he's like,
true.
jolly and whatnot. Past is about Scrooge's past love, isn't it? A big significant part. So
yeah.
that would be Slaanesh, right?
Well, I don't know. I think you could have Marley as Slaanesh because they're all in chains.
Oh, with
They're
the
like,
chains.
oh, I love
The
this.
chains.
Oh,
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you really could.
I've been weighed down by
Oh
all my
my
sins, and
God.
it feels so good.
Yeah. I'm supposed to give you a warning, Scrooge, but I'm too busy. I'm sorry.
Oh, you
I'm
should
enjoying
join
myself
me.
too much.
Oh, come, Scrooge, join me.
Actually, you know what? Screw the warning. This is great.
There can be just one demon behind him whipping him, or it, every
Yeah,
now and again, but
yeah.
looking really unsatisfied. Like, ugh,
Yeah.
I have to do
You're
this on bloody
supposed to be
Christmas.
giving him a warning.
I have to work on bloody Christmas. This is bullshit.
No, there's definitely something there.
I
Yeah,
think
I
you guys
think
need
so.
to workworkship this. This could easily be a
I
thing.
think this could be a thing. This is hilarious.
Yeah.
I think this could be very fun.
I think we've got something to work on. I really like the fact that right now on the Twitch stream, because of the way that the YouTube thing's sitting, it looks like the Sister of Mercy. No,
No, she's a clown.
Yep, she's got a clown nose.
Yeah, she's got the clown nose.
And
She
she's got the
does.
white hair made of cotton that we were talking about
Mhm.
earlier.
Yep.
Yeah. Now,
Rambozo,
Sisters of
Rambozo.
Clown Sisters of Battle. That's actually kind of freaky and
That would be
frightening,
scary.
if I'm
That,
perfectly honest.
that would hit a lot of phobias for people.
Yeah, it
I am
would.
all in for making a sister Rambozo.
Oh god.
What the
Should
sisters
we move
called
on to
are
the next
pretty
story?
much naked with chainsaws.
Oh, the
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 Repentier.
Repentier.
The
is that what
Repentier, they
are?
don't get naked. They're forced to dress up as clowns with chainsaws.
The ultimate humiliation. Yeah.
Oh, well, we do technically have a clown car model. Do you remember the Imperial Guards kind of 4x4 that they used to have?
Yes.
Oh
that,
god.
that could be a clown car
Yep.
easily.
From
Change of
many
that.
moons ago. Yeah.
No, it's not
geez.
that. It's not that many years ago because it used to be.
Is it not?
No, it used to be in one of the Star Collecting Tempestus Scion boxes before they got rid of those boxes.
Right.
I've always wanted to get two of them to make a Gene Steeler limousine out of it.
Oh, Big D
God,
probably has like
yeah.
5. He'll hook you
Good day.
if he hasn't built them already. Sorry, you were going to move us on, weren't you?
Yeah, should we move on to the big one?
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
We can now officially say that the Fluffenhammer is coming to an end because
Yeah.
they've done it. They've
At long last. Proper confirmation, not just whispers and rumours and whatnot.
Not
Not just the
resin.
naughty little suggestions they put into all of the articles in the latter half of the year. Did you notice that, guys?
oh yes,
The
oh yes.
little like teases that they put into every bloody article.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even, by the way, the World Eaters data slate, the detachment, they should put a little noise marine in the artwork for it.
Yep.
It's like naughty bastards, right? Really naughty. Yes, Fulgrim. Bloody hell. Fulgrim.
He's
Long
spectacular.
last. I'm biased, obviously. I've got to think about Slaanesh in terms of his aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
I've always loved the design of Fulgrim. He's my favorite of the Demon Primarch. This is fantastic. I think he is.
It's stunning.
Can't get over it. It's really kind of what I demand from Slaanesh,
Mm-hmm.
After the brilliance of the Hedonites range in AOS, this is kind of what I expect now from anything Slaanesh in Warhammer. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's wonderful.
I love his face. I love the expressions that he's got. You can see that he was once beautiful, but now he's completely warp tainted.
Lost, right? There is nothing in him but the mania of excess, right? He's just indulging in everything, and I love it. My favorite is the one where he's laughing. I think that's utterly brilliant, because I think that just captures who he is. The total deranged excess of Slaanesh.
Mm-hmm. I quite the smirk. I like his little smirk.
Yeah, the smirk is cool too. He's amazing. He is just stunning. One of my favorite details is the slightly cenobitic element, the pain part of Slaanesh, where he has that wound on its front with the skin stretched and the symbol of Slaanesh.
Yeah.
Love it. So it's very cenobitic, it's very Clive Barkerian,
Mm-hmm.
The thing with the traitor Primarchs as well, the miniatures, they're almost like the epitome of all of the divine influences that are going to be in the range. You can almost extrapolate from them what the range is going to be like. So these are the design influences that are going into the Emperor's Children. It's like, God almighty, this is going to be my favorite army. If this is what it's going to be like, it is going to be everything I want from a Warhammer army. This is.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Slaanesh has never been my most favorite, but I'm honestly blown away by everything on him. I even like the little masked head. There's something about the masked head.
I really don't like that helmet. I think it looks a bit weird. No, I think it looks a bit like a teddy bear.
I think what they've done, it's photographed straight on, but if you look closely, if it's more like a noise marine helmet. If he was side on, that would be, we would have the stretch sort of snout.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a beaky marine helmet,
Yeah.
But it's difficult to see from this photograph.
It's the first time I've ever thought this, but I am really looking forward to seeing what people do when they paint Fulgrim. Because the heavy metal style is to accentuate all the details so you can see exactly what it is that you're getting. That's what it's there to do. It's a very, very specialized, very talented way of painting. But it's there to get the details across. When people get hold of this and they start experimenting and playing with it, this is going to look absolutely amazing.
It's going to be nuts, isn't it? It's a painter's dream, isn't it? There's going to be so many different schemes for this guy. And of course, very like Magnus, you can kind of do what you like with him. Because his form changes depending on his whim. Mm-hmm. So his weapons, for one thing. Although I am wondering, let's get the swords. I'm wondering, is he going to be wielding one of the crone swords? The swords that the Eldari are supposed to be trying to find at the moment. I think he might be, That one that he's wielding on the right looks like one of the crone swords. Which means, if that's the case, there's going to be like a strong narrative between the Emperor's Children and the Inari.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to want that. They're going to be wanting to get that back.
Absolutely. The swords themselves have a lot of story.
They do, don't they? The one in particular they mention in the article that's oddly plain.
Mm-hmm.
That's the fire sword, I'd assume. It's the fire sword, isn't it, that Ferrus Manus forged for him?
Yep.
Interesting that he wields it now. I mean, it's not because there's any hint of redemption left in him or anything like that. Not at this point. It's more like, oh, look, here's the sword my idiot brother made for me. I beheaded him, don't you know? It also means the Iron Hands are not going to be very happy about this.
This is a really weird thing to be thinking about at this point, but I'm genuinely excited if the Iron Hands get something going forward.
Yeah, right.
Because the amount of detail that's gone into creating a narrative within the miniature.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things that I always like to talk about, because the narrative of the miniature, the story that it tells by itself, by simply looking at it, is always a really interesting thing to me. But there's also how many callbacks it has to existing lore. And it makes me think about what could that mean for 40k? Is there going to be a push going on for some of the other things? Because we've kind of seen this in very small scale over the last few years, where something comes out and that something has some form of hint or an idea or something that's going to come out 6 months, 8 months, 9 months later. And I don't know, I've got a feeling that we're going to see some Iron Hand stuff out of this.
That would be so interesting, and it would be an obvious thing to do. Because, the Iron Hands have got a real axe to grind, obviously, with the Emperor's children. They're almost like arch enemies, I mean, Fulgrim murdered their Primarch. He his head off, and it's fun.
I'd really like a head sculpt of you know that meme of the woman going no with the glasses and the beanie. I'd like that for an Iron Hands. Fulgrim returns. No.
To be fair, Fulgrim's pissed off a lot of people over the years. I mean, he's the one who put Guilliman into his coma. So there's that. There's that. The Eldari really hate him for lots and lots of reasons. Angron fucking hates Fulgrim. Angron hates Fulgrim. So the World Eaters are not going to be happy at all.
Less than usual, at least.
Yeah, it's less than usual. Yeah. That's the funny thing as well about Fulgrim, right? Fulgrim's the only one of the Demon Primarchs who's ecstatically happy. Yeah. Like, Fulgrim is really content in his condition as the Demon Primarch of Slaanesh. He's very, very happy in that condition. None of the others are. All of the others have got tensions with their status as Demon Primarchs, while all the others were coerced into it. They had no choice in the matter. Whereas Fulgrim engineered his own ascension, did it very, very, very deliberately. So, he's one of the happier guys in 40k, which is kind of interesting. He's having a good old time.
I wonder how long it took for his legs to become a big snake tail. Although it's not really a snake, is it? It's more of an eel.
It's really weird. And I like, they've changed the design a little bit for this version. Have you noticed that, unlike previous versions, he's fused just below the groin? So he actually has a groin, just to enhance the Slaaneshi element. It's really, it's kind of clever. It's kind of clever.
Some green stuff modelers are going to have a whale of a time with that.
Yeah.
Well, remember Magnus.
They did it with Magnus, so there's no reason why they're not going to do it with this guy, is there? Let's be honest.
He was called Magnus the Red for a reason.
Because he was left on red.
There are some aspects I don't like about this. Like, I'm not like, if you look at the head side on, the hair looks a bit on the weird side. The way that it flows back, it doesn't look quite right. There's just a few bits on. Generally, I think it's pretty good, but there's just a few bits that I'm not a big fan of. Like, I preferred on the Horus Heresy one. Do you remember how it had more of the segmented armored tummy snake body?
Oh yeah.
I think I preferred that than the more like it looks like a worm body. I like that more armored look personally, but that's more of a personal preference thing. And the hair from the side again looks a bit weird. Any of the witch elves and those kind of ladies with the long hair as well from the side also usually look a bit weird sometimes. I think it's just
because you have to sculpt the hair as a block, don't you?
Yeah. It's 3D modeling, I think, is the reason it kind of looks a bit on the strange side. But yeah, and like you said, I don't think the paint scheme is great. I mean, it's well done, But I much prefer the actual paint scheme in the artwork, the older
Mhm.
artwork. I don't know what
Oh,
the artwork
the-
they had on the screen.
That one.
Yeah.
Oh
whatever this
yeah.
one is.
That's new. That's completely new. That hasn't been seen before.
Oh.
That's for this codex, I think.
Oh, because this
Emperor's
looks
Children
really
codex.
different from the actual model.
Yeah, it's interesting, but that's relatively new. That is. But yeah, that's almost got like the classic Emperor's Children color scheme. Actually, the purple and the gold.
Yeah.
That would. I mean, there's going to be lots of people that paint him like that. Lots of people that paint him like that.
I prefer the head. Is the hair in this artwork implied that it's more smoke, like wispy steam?
It's
than
kind of
actual?
glowing.
Almost looks like that, doesn't it? He looks a bit more like spectral in this version of the artwork. I kind of like that.
I'm not sure I like the blue skin on him, but I like the general like armor colors. I think the more
That's,
appropriate.
I mean, the blue skin is a really old, deep cut, actually, because in the, like, way back when, Slaanesh, like a lot of the Slaanesh Greater Demons, like the old metal ones from the Realms of Chaos days, were painted with pastel blue skin.
Which Realm of Chaos days? There's Realm of Chaos,
like
second Realm of Chaos, the third one.
The original.
Okay. Because my Realm of Chaos,
the
they were always
original.
pink.
Yeah, the original days.
Actually, no, they weren't pink, it was skin, my bad.
Yeah, a lot of demonettes were painted as well with pastel blue skin. And the epic Fulgrim miniature had a couple of paint schemes actually, but one of the first ones had pastel blue skin.
Yeah, powder blue.
Yeah, so it's a nice, it's a
little
little bit of
with
a
Magnus, because Magnus was just like dark blue. So would it be
he was
next to each other?
He was blue.
He was.
Oh
he
yeah,
looked like
Magnus
a fucking
was
troll.
really blue. Yeah, squat troll-like
Norwegian
thing.
troll.
Yeah,
What
with
a
a
weird
big
look.
beard and a mohawk.
Yep.
So odd. So odd. That back then, the reason he was called Magnus the Red was because of his hair and his beard. The notion of him having red skin didn't come in until much later on.
And the big red
Much
cock
later
was much more recent as well.
I think that was very recent. That's a very recent addition. That is, very recent addition.
There we go. Welcome.
We already spoke about Call of Cthulhu. Let's not bring cock up again.
No, let's not. I mean, I can't wait to see. I mean, we've had a few hints today of what we're going to see very soon. We're obviously going to get Lucius the Eternal revealed at the Las Vegas Open. Yeah, it's definitely. Having watched the video, you can see that miniature side on. It's Lucius. It is 120% Lucius the Eternal. So we're obviously going to see that. I wonder if they're going to show us a little bit more of the Emperor's Children range.
He's a full range.
I don't know, because it seems. I hope so. You'd hope that they show more than just Lucius, because it'd be
just Lucius.
It'd be a bit of a wet fart if it is just, here's Lucius. It's like, yeah, cool. It's finally a not shit-looking Lucius. I'm making the assumption because the last one we saw was not great. Bless him.
Mm-hmm. The original one, the original Lucius the Eternal.
You look at him and like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, at the time he was really interesting. Way back in 3.5 Ed when he was introduced. But that miniature is pretty goddamn old now.
Bless him.
Yeah. It's pretty goddamn old. And it's he's very good in the game at the moment. He's very good in the game. He's basically a character assassin.
Because the Vegas Opens is classed as a big. It's a big event, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, maybe they will do the full
big
release.
One to the year.
I'm trying to think what the next big after the Las Vegas event. What the next big one is after that?
Warhammer Day or what's it called?
My guess is, I think Daffeth is right. They will probably do the Emperor's Children launch box at Las Vegas Open. They have form for doing that kind of thing.
That makes
with
sense.
The up and coming armies, and it would be the obvious thing to do because it's really the only time between now and the apparent release that they've got to do it. So, it would make sense.
What do we think is going to be the other things? Because we've got Lucius.
Noise Marines, obviously.
I mean, from the pictures we've got, because
from the Las Vegas. That thing I thought was a Titan is not. It's a Mechanicum thing. I can't remember what they're called, but there's a robot.
The Automaton.
Yeah, there's a robot in the Mechanicum in the Horus Heresy actually, which you can't currently play in 40k. That's what it is. It's a platform. It's odd. I don't know quite what.
I mean,
Where
the
they're
beginnings of
going
the
to
Dark
release
Mechanicum,
it.
then, isn't it? It's the
Could be. Could
Maybe.
be.
It might just be a
Maybe.
Mechanicus thing.
I was going to say it might just be a Mechanicum thing. That's a Mechanicum thing. That's Lucius. That's the little source, the little weird
Familiar.
guy.
He's a familiar.
Yeah, it's a familiar.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I mean,
I assumed it was just an
think
orc shaman or something, or a goblin shaman.
I don't know. He looks. I don't know. There's something about him that looks Nurgle to me, but that may just be my bias.
Looks like
He's
he's
got
got
a
little
scythe.
horns.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got like a scythe thing. If you
Is
look.
it a scythe or is it like is it just a tree
Oh,
branch
yeah,
with
you're
just like a
right.
bit of cloth?
Oh yes, you're right. It could be. Yeah.
It'd be
I
funny
don't
if
know.
it was
I
a
don't know what it
beastman.
is.
It's a beastman shaman. It's like you killed them though.
Oh my god!
bring 'em
Yeah,
back.
you
Well,
killed
be.
them, right?
It could well be, because there is Old World in the mentioned video.
Oh yeah, there
I
is.
assumed the old world stuff was for the white on
Yeah.
steed
The white
or
on
whatever,
horse. Yeah.
whatever it's meant to be.
Yeah, no, I'd
I mean,
agree with that.
It's very definitely undead. You can see it when it's in
Yeah.
profile. It's a skeletal horse. So, and it looks a lot like the old White King models. You know,
Yeah.
it's like got the horse, it's got the wings on the helmet and everything. So I'm assuming it's a White King, whether it's for AOS or for. I mean, it's a White King. You use it in both.
I
Wouldn't you
assumed it was
really?
for the old world, and this is just looking a little bit too hard because it's with a blue background, but that might have nothing to do with anything, granted.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe I don't know. Yeah, it could be.
Because I assume the Necromunda thing is the weird bug.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Ro-
yeah. Yeah.
Robobug.
Oh, is
Like
that what it is?
110%, 110%. I mean, like even in silhouette, that thing screams Necromunda, doesn't
It
it?
really does, doesn't it?
The only other thing I thought it might be would be Tyrannid, but then I thought it's a bit too much just like a normal bug for the Tyrannid.
Yes, yeah.
It amazes me
interesting.
that Necromunda's never brought the Zombie Master back.
What a name.
Yeah, actually, yes, I remember that.
You know, there was
I mean, they could do so much with that, couldn't they? I mean, like
yeah.
like a zombie plague in the Underhive, brilliant fun. I mean, the scenarios you could do with that.
What's he called? It was a really like Boris Karloffsky or something, wasn't he?
It wasn't really, was it? Was it something? Or was it a reference
it
to like
wasn't
Hammer
quite
Horror
that.
and stuff? Yeah.
It wasn't quite that, but it was very similar. What was he called?
Christoph Lee.
No, that's just a picture of him. Go away.
No, I remember the zombies. I remember the zombies from Necromunda. They were kind of a cool warband.
Arloth Valoy.
Solid name.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Arloth. That lamey cocksucker is not worthy to smell my shit. Does anyone know what that's from? Yeah.
Nope.
It's from Ed Wood.
Oh, that's a fun
Oh
film.
my god! Yeah,
That's a great
jeez.
It's a line from a film that comes through my head on a regular basis.
Wow.
Karloff, that limey cocksucker is not worthy to smell my shit.
I just had an idea for a mini that Gruff would love to have, but would not want to have at the same time. A Snorri Nosebiter figure.
Fuck you.
Oh wow.
Wouldn't you like a little Snorri?
Fuck you, I love it.
Yeah, a Snorri.
Fuck, I would protect that miniature with my life.
2-pack Ulrika and Max Schreiber.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. I'm the bedding couple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
The bedding couple. I'm
you
still thinking they need to do a Warhammer Quest and just go through the Gottrix and Felix books and release a new mini per volume.
The
absolutely,
volume,
yes.
Yeah.
Interesting
Yeah,
idea. Would sell as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
That would
Oh,
really
good.
sell.
Yeah,
That's
how
right,
many
scenario
I'm
guys are
really.
there?
surprised.
By a
I mean,
scenario,
I'm
right,
surprised
easy.
that we still haven't got any really solid hints at the Chaos Dwarfs or whatever they're going to be called.
The Oathbreakers.
The Oathbreakers, yeah.
Well, that's something I was going to come to later on, but we can do it now.
Oh my god.
We're predictions for the year ahead.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
Because my
Oathbreakers
prediction
are
is the
definitely a
Oathbreakers are
thing.
coming.
Yeah, definitely. Having read the books like thus far, the books in 4th ed, AOS, yeah, they all but spell it out.
He is my
Every book
prediction.
mentions them. Every bloody
know.
book mentions them thus far.
Here's my prediction. at the moment on the Warhammer website, on the Warhammer community website, they have a series of stories called the something of Ruin. What was it called? I can't remember what it's called now. I'm actually recording them at the moment. Chronicles of Ruin. There we go. Now, historically, these things have ended with a big release of some description. And my guess is that Chronicles of Ruin will continue because they always do one leading up into a new edition. A series of stories leading up to a new edition. And then they do another one in that edition, which leads to usually a new army or a new campaign coming. My guess is that these will lead up to the Oathbreakers being released.
Right.
So what point in the year
and
would you
also
predict?
Late summer.
Late
I was
summer?
going to say, more sort of towards the latter half would be my guess. In fact, we were talking earlier about what is going to sort of like curb the Skaven and the dominance of the Great Horned Rat. It will be that, won't it? It'll be the return of passion.
Yeah.
Of course it will. Of course it will. Interesting.
And hopefully it means that Hashut and Bellicor just kick the shit out of each other. Just Hashut turns up and says, "You fucking stole my name, you bastard."
Well, wasn't there a suggestion that, like, there seems to be a subtle suggestion that Hashut is Vashtor, right?
Kind of,
or vice versa.
Yeah,
because obviously that makes a load of sense. Vashtor is the Lord of the Chaos Forge. What is Hashut? Exactly that. And in that regard, they already have a miniature set and ready to go as part of the range, right?
Yes.
And he would port over fine into AOS.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Port over absolutely fine. It would make sense.
I'm just hoping that whatever they do with the Oathbreakers, they find something new to do with it. I don't want to just see Big Hat Chaos Dwarfs turn up, and I don't want to just see the tiny Chaos Warriors turn up.
Oh, I think what they'll do is they'll lean into the industry element of them.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
That would be my guess. It would make tons of sense. It would make tons of sense to make them like the dark equivalent of the what they call the Caradron.
Yeah, the Caradron Overlords.
Yeah.
Will they still be slavery based like the old ones? I'm going to say probably not.
Yeah, probably not. My guess would be not.
I want the Chaos Dwarfs to make slavery great again. It's time. It's either them or the Dark Elves have to.
Yeah, as a fair point, they're still around, aren't they? So,
well, they're shadows. So maybe they're not interested.
Are they?
In it. Yeah.
Are they? I mean, that's the other thing, right? That's the other thing, right? Where the hell are the Umbraneth?
I swear to God, if we get the Umbraneth at the end of Chronicles of Ruin, spitting blood.
That'd be hilarious.
Oh my God, wouldn't it? Oh my God.
To be fair, they've been hinted at longer than the Chaos Dwarfs.
They have.
Yeah.
And we do have one set of them.
Yes, we've had Umbraneth miniatures, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and also, I mean, the lack of Malarion is a huge whacking gap in the mythology. It's just gigantic. It's conspicuous.
Yeah.
He's one of the key gods, right? He's one of the key gods in the setting.
Well, all the way through what led up to it was middle of Second Ed. You had the stories there, and you had Malarian and Malekith.
Yeah.
Just constantly having these little conversations in the background and stuff, and you just, where is he? What's he doing?
Where is he? Yeah, I mean, like, he's been present in the background loads of times, but just not present in the actual game. Or
it's what's
weird.
Been present in the background for longer though?
What?
Familiar. In the first edition Age of Sigmar, there is the island of the Familiar, and it's right there.
Yeah.
Well, you did predict it for edition? Third edition, and then you got fucked over with the really shit.
I was so angry.
It wouldn't have hurt as bad if they were cool, but they were lame.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, the cool boys are shit.
Yep.
Although, to be fair, it did give us the Hobgrots, and I do love the Hobgrots. I think they're amazing.
I do like the Vulture mini, the big giant
Vulture.
I like the
Vulture.
It's nice.
Big Vulture.
But you know what?
It looks like a Harryhausen monster. Yeah, it's great. It looks like a Harryhausen monster.
No. It looks like what's that really shit giant monster movie called with the giant bird? That everybody says it's fucking shit.
The Claw.
The Claw.
The
yes.
Claw.
It looks like the Claw.
Oh my God,
That's an amazingly shit movie.
It is, yeah.
It's a spectacular film, The Claw.
Amazing.
I will not have
Totally.
anyone besmirch such a
rough.
pinnacle of the
Can you
giant
get your
monster
wife
movie.
to make a felt version of The Claw for us?
I don't think she could ever do the eyes justice.
No, it doesn't matter. I just want to see her do it. I want to see her give it the pimples on its nose and the little wisps coming out of its moles on its beak. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see your wife make a felt version of the giant.
I will ask her. I will.
Thank you. She did Feathers McGraw on the seal, which looked pretty good.
Yeah.
So I think she could handle
brilliant.
The Claw. But yeah, that was the only mini, and that mini could have been better if it was piloted by a Fluffenhammer.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Yes.
So
I hate the Krill boys. Hate them so much, and I probably wouldn't hate them as much if I didn't get so excited thinking it was going to be the Fluffenhammer returning. I think that would be just like, they're not for me. I don't like the fact that they're not hunched. They don't have the. Because I like the armor on the Krill boys. I think the armor looks really good. It looks like Ian Miller work.
It looks like it's Ian Miller, right? That's what they're inspired by.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you paint them with human skin, they look really good. My latest deodorant diorama, it has one of them, and I painted him in human skin, and it does look like a really weird, gangly, like chaos cultist type guy.
Right.
So once you get all the armor and stuff onto him, yeah, that's brilliant.
Pretty cool, yeah.
As an orc, nah.
Yeah.
The Krill boys for you were you on Christmas Day wanting a Dreamcast and you got a box of socks.
Yes. Very much yes.
Santa promised me a Dreamcast. What the fuck is this?
No, it's I got just the VMU because somebody misunderstood what you. I've got a VMU. I can't put anything on it. I can't do anything with it. Oh.
That's what you asked for, though.
No, oh God. I hate being alive. Staying in AOS.
When's Las Vegas? Sorry, is it next week? The week after?
16th.
16th. That's not far off.
That's so soon, actually. Really imminent, to be honest. So we'll find out very soon.
Yeah, and obviously we'll try and gather not long after that and try and get a show recorded talking about
start
it.
Putting money together in case they do unveil the Emperor's Children book.
Don't worry, you'll have a good
time.
Yeah, you'll have a good 3 weeks before it's released.
Yeah.
The hardest thing I think will be getting the pre-order of it. That'll be the hard part. Not getting the money.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I am going to try. I want that. I want that very much.
Yeah, I can imagine you do. Speaking of things that people want, the next story, it's hey look, it's Kragnos.
Oh, it is.
I just,
the answer to a question that nobody asked, right? God.
David over on the Twitch stream has just said, if not Fimir, the orc should have just been full-on hobgobs. And yes, if there'd just been an army of hobgrots, I would have been over the moon.
Yeah.
I just hate robots. Yeah. Oh God.
So this is the Oryx's reintroduction into AOS in 4th Ed, yeah?
Yeah, so basically this is the reintroduction of the Oryx. Both the Krill Boys and the Iron Jaws are getting a single battle tome.
Right, so integrated, yeah?
Yeah, so I'll chop out those pages. But yeah, Kragnos, of course, is actually there. He's
in it. Yeah, he's actually in it, yeah? Interesting.
Yeah, there he is. It's on the page. The only reason I wanted to discuss this story is because there's a picture of Kragnos. It's like, he exists.
I mean, is there going to be some narrative about how he comes back from where he was catapulted by Morathai at the end of the Broken Realms?
It fucking was like, Team Rocket's blasting off again.
It kind of was, wasn't it? She tricked him, didn't she, into a portal, and that was it. That was the last we saw of him.
He's never come back.
It's just such an odd, it's a weird. I mean, he does not fit in that army. He does not fit at all.
I keep having this idea of making a like a weird knob. Mm-hmm. So using the Kragnos rules, but just having this like shaman just surrounded by Warg energy. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like made him look like a giant fist or something. So you can see him, and then just like all these other bits coming off him, just making this like big fist. and then just using the Kragnos rules for something like that.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean, Baffert says that. Yeah, Kragnos' people, the people that he was originally part of, those Centauroid creatures,
Yep.
that were apparently all destroyed. If they did an army of them for him to go with, that would probably make more sense,
Yeah.
But with the orc, I don't know. You see him in the army, and he just looks wrong.
Massively out of place. Yeah.
He looks all sorts of wrong.
You say there, Andy?
I said it looked weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. He looks, he would fit much better actually into like the Sylvaneth or like Alariel's armies of life. He looks like a Centauroid god of nature or something like that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He looks a bit like Orion.
Well, we
Those
said when he first
characters.
came out, he would have been better with the Beastmen. We clearly
Totally.
wanted to kill the Beastmen off.
Totally.
I firmly believe that's what happened. They sculpted him to be a Beastman,
I
a
am.
big character, and then Old World started gaining speed, and they thought, well, shit.
I am almost like certain that something like that was the case.
If that's the case, they must have been planning the Beastman's death for a long time. Because Kragnos came out and he was in that army for a good while before they actually killed the Beastman once and for all.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Which, if you look at the sort of planning for how long it takes to get a game together and out, then that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. But I am almost like positive he was not originally sculpted to be part of these armies.
No.
It just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. It doesn't look right. Like the colors, the style, there's no flow between him and the other miniatures. It just does not work.
You said the Sylvaneth, and I think that is definitely easily doable if you just say he's something akin to Orion, right? Oh, well, new Orion.
Yeah.
Orion for
He's
AOS.
You're right. He's the other side of nature. Yeah, he's the beasts. He's the wild. He's the hunt.
That works.
He's the opposite of Alariel, effectively, or the opposite number.
You stick him down using Alariel's rules, and jobs are good, I guess.
Makes so much more sense to me than him being in these armies.
Yeah. Well, that's why we haven't seen him, I think, because he dropped in, everyone just kind of went, well, that didn't work.
I mean, he's not a bad miniature. That's the annoying thing. He's actually quite a lovely miniature. It just doesn't. It does because he's so incongruous. Whenever I see him, I'm like, I have that reaction. It's like I just don't feel like he fits where he is at the moment.
No. Maybe we'll get like a Destruction Centaur army appearing at some point, and things will start making a bit more sense. But as it stands right now, I just don't want him in an orc army. So, I mean, the orcs. The thing is, you've got the Fist of Gork, who is a big ass character who does a lot of stuff, and having something like Kragnos kind of takes the Fist of Gork down. Gordrak is like, is a proper monster. Yeah, and. Come on,
aesthetically and in terms of his background makes more sense.
Well,
makes loads more sense.
The fact that Gordrak built a giant siege weapon just to get inside a storm vault, spent 6 months of his life just trying to break a storm vault in half. It's cool. I think the other cool thing about this is that it's not in here, but there's a regiment of renown, isn't there, that has the Ogroids that can be in a Destruction Army.
Oh, really? That's a nice idea.
So, some Ogroids that didn't turn to Chaos, which makes me really happy.
Oh, wow. So the actual species, the Ogre, that's really cool. Though you can still take them in a Destruction Army then.
Yeah, just as a regiment of renown, just so you only get the one unit. Or the one regiment,
even so. That's lovely, isn't it?
Oh, God, yeah.
That's really, really nice, because that is their background. They were originally a destruction race, right?
Yeah, they were the followers of Gorkamorka.
Yeah.
They got pushed out and joined Chaos, and they've never
because
really
they were builders, right? They never really fit in the because they actually were a civilized species, which doesn't really work. Wasn't it like the Orc sacking all the cities that they built that pushed them away?
That was it. What's really cool about them is that they were the builders, but they the moment that the war horn sounded, they would down tools and pick up weapons.
Yeah. I mean, they're powerful. I mean, in the new Slaves to Darkness book, they're badass. They really are.
There's a reason I made an Ogroid army. Yeah, I love the Ogroids. I think they're incredible.
They are solid. They're absolutely solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're quite a small army as well because they're quite expensive.
Yeah, very elite because they're big and they're strong and they're nasty as hell.
Yeah, I love them. Love them to bits.
Like all their weapons are like damage 3 or something ridiculous like that. I mean, fucking ridiculous. Damage 3?
You can get them up to damage 4.
Yeah. Oh, yes, because they've got a special rule, haven't they? Yes.
It's like...
Yeah.
If you're anywhere near the... what's he called? The
Theridon.
Yeah, the Theridon.
Yeah.
You can get your damage up to damage 4.
That's right.
Insane.
Bloody hell.
I believe my mate James is Slanesh, heading out to Slanesh. And I was able to slow down all of his fast-moving stuff, just constantly slowing them down with spells. And then the moment they got into contact, they were just torn apart, just ripped to shreds. It was great.
Oh my god, Theridon, like Myrmidons and Theridons against Slanesh. Yeah. If you, as the Slanesh player, you'd want to be avoiding them.
Yes.
Because, I mean, Heathen Knights are great in AOS 4th Ed, but they're fragile. That's their whole shit, Yeah, fast and fragile.
And if you can slow them down and then control when you get into combat and how you get into combat with them, you can just dismantle them.
Yes, and Ogroids are the brilliant, they're like the rock to break them against. They are really good at that.
Yep. I love them to bits. I just wish I could have a mounted one. I just want a mounted Ogroid character.
God, what would they be mounted on? They're massive. It'd have to be big. It'd have to be a big monster.
You could use the boars from the Ogroid. The Orcs army here.
Yeah.
Actually, that might work. Yeah, actually, that might work.
That works for me. Yeah, I'm all in for that.
Yeah. Well, you could make them like Rodanin on very, very small horses.
Yeah, that would be great. I want to see that. Someone needs to model that.
Really sad, tiny horses.
Yeah, I want to see the Ogroid Theridon on a little horse.
Yeah.
On a little horse.
No, the way I thought it was the Ogre rhino creatures, whatever they're called. That would be the perfect one for them, I think.
Yeah, that
makes
sense.
Sensible though.
Yeah, tiny horse is much better.
Tiny horse is so much more fun, as Radahn demonstrates.
Yeah, exactly.
Shall we go to the old world?
Yeah, sure. There's a lot going on in the old world. Oh, it's ramping up at the minute.
Well, I think there's some stuff that we need to talk about in the old world, isn't there, Andy?
Yeah.
Because we recently discovered some stuff about the old world that we didn't know about, didn't we, Andy?
Oh, yeah?
About the way that their books work.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is bullshit, isn't it? This is absolute bullshit, right?
Yeah, the arcane journals do not actually have the full roster of the army.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's all in the ravaging hordes and the equivalent of the light
forces of fantasy. Yeah,
right. Okay.
I would have been more than happy if they duplicated them, and put them in the arcane journals as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I was genuinely angry when you pointed that out.
Same. I don't like it. I think it's a really bad move.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah, it's not.
It feels anti-consumer.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It feels like old Games Workshop. That does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we should not be going back to that. It's
no.
I think I can understand what the thought process is.
Oh yeah, I can as well. I disagree with it fundamentally.
Yeah. Dislike it. Yeah, absolutely.
If the old world continues, I don't think they'd do it again. I think the next time they do books, it'll be I would hope it'd be proper army books, because
army books.
The next time they'll do a version 2 of the old world, I would expect it to be a proper game. Or maybe something akin to Big D was telling me about Horus Heresy. Maybe they do it more like Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
They just update it with the campaign books.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense too. But as long as you've got the full army lists, right, centralized somewhere where you can just get them.
Yeah, not in a
Not in-
Ravaging Horde book, which has
Right.
every evil army in there, which seems weird.
Yeah.
I don't want
yeah.
the Orcs. I don't want the Orcs army book. I don't want the
Hmm.
whoever the Chaos army stuff. I just want the Two
Right.
Kings.
You
army
want the
stuff.
you want the undead, yeah. You want the Tomb
or
King.
if I'm an Orc player, I just want the Orcs and the Goblin stuff.
Mhm,
I don't
mhm.
want all the other guff.
Yeah.
I think what
I mean,
annoys me
building-
is that the Warhammer Armies books were so good for just having contained information.
The stuff, right? They were just
Yeah.
fun to read, yeah?
Oh yeah. But yeah, having to have both books plus the rule book, you're hitting that problem again of having to carry too much.
Having multiple bloody books, which is the
Yeah.
opposite way in which they should be going, you know?
Yeah, you
But
need
the
at least
the
three
game does it
books.
now.
At least 3
Yeah.
books. It's like, well,
Mm.
I don't know. It seems silly to me.
At this point, the obvious thing to do is that because they update the rules so often, because they're really, I mean, fair play to them. They're being very reactive and responsive to feedback and whatnot. They need to have them in some digital form, collated into some easily accessible digital form at this point.
Yeah, I don't think there's an old world app, is there?
I don't know.
No,
Is it not?
probably not. Not at the
That's
minute. I don't think so.
Let's have a look,
If,
see.
if it's a side game, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah,
Monk says the old world hasn't really had any updates to the army rules, to be fair.
No, I imagine it hasn't. But with reference to like the other games, the main games, I mean, you've got situations at the moment where, like, look at the Dark Angels book, for instance. It's utterly useless now. And apart from the background.
I mean, the meme before was the
data sheet.
Votan book, right? Because the Votan book came
Yeah.
out and it was worthless as soon as it hit the shelves.
Yeah, every data sheet has changed. Every single data sheet now has changed.
It's the fact that the Votan book came out, and as soon as it hit, it's crazy.
Yeah.
As soon as it hit the shelf, it was out of date.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So really, the obvious thing to do is to have the codices for background, right?
Yeah.
Just to have them for background and hobby stuff, paint schemes, conversions, all that stuff, sample armies, and then have the rules in a digital format.
Both on the website and the and the app.
That is the obvious way to take it now. That is the obvious way to take it.
I think you could sell them if you got like people to like authors and stuff to write these law books. I think they'd still sell.
Absolutely, I'd still buy them. Absolutely.
I
Make
think
them
your
make them
idea
an
is like,
event.
George, just tweak the idea of what a rule book, well, not a rule book, but an army book is.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could do all your customs, like how you make custom bases for them. Instead of just putting them in White Dwarfs, you could put them in this book.
Think about the amount of extra background they could fit in.
That would actually be my preferred book, because obviously I can't play the game, so I would totally be way more into like how you paint them in many different color schemes, how you make specific bases, how you make scenery pieces for them. That'd be really interesting.
I think it would be a really good way of relaunching like the notion of what codices are, of what battle tomes are, and what I think it would be a really good way to take it now.
Maybe the concern is, for us, we care about that, but maybe the concern would be like how many of people are like us in the fandom who would buy that stuff versus who just only care about the rules. Maybe that's the reason why they haven't done it. I guess
that is almost 100% it. That's
which
almost
is
100%
kind of sad because I think
But
everybody should care more about the law than the rules.
Likewise.
100%. Yes.
Ultimately,
I mean, we're biased because we're called the Fluffenhammer, so we're not called the Fluffenhammer,
right? But it's going to go that way anyway. I mean, 10th edition, don't get me wrong, 10th edition is definitely the most coherent form of Warhammer 40,000 because it has been so responsive to feedback, because they've changed, they've actually listened and changed things and so on and so forth. But the result of that is the rule books become useless, like almost instantly, like the Votan, like the Dark Angels, like the Gene Stealer Cults book. Now, the 10th Gene Stealer Cults book, the rules stuff useless now, almost totally useless. So yeah, there are stark indicators now of how the old-fashioned codex format, battle tome format, doesn't necessarily work anymore.
No, not in the modern era anyhow, which is a sad state of affairs.
Yeah.
Sign of the time,
if they
suppose.
put... Yeah, it is. It's because of like the
I hate
technology
the modern
and
era.
whatnot,
Same.
you know. But I mean, like a decent app that you could just have on your phone that has your army list, that has that has your rules, and that automatically updates with all the new points and all the new. Oh my god, that would be heaven sent. It really would. It really would, and you wouldn't have to carry around the books. The books would just be there with the art and the feeling, the ethos, the hobby stuff. I think that would be the best way. It would be one of the best moves they ever made.
I think it needs to happen.
Yeah, it will. I think ultimately it will just happen because of the nature of what they're doing with the games at the moment. It's going that way anyway.
Yeah, it'll get tested with Horus Heresy or Necromunda first, and then see how it goes from there. Should we talk about Sir Cecil Gaston?
Sure.
He's got a wonderful hat and a wonderful mustache.
And beard. He's got a beard too.
The picture has a beard.
Oh, is he not meant to have a beard?
Look at the miniature.
Oh, yeah. My eyes were reading that as a beard.
Yeah.
I needed to get close to see it wasn't a beard.
Yep. It makes me it amuses me greatly.
It's actually kind of weird to see a Bretonian not on a horse.
It is a bit, isn't it? But he is old school, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's proper old school, he is.
He's got his giant hat, and that makes me happy.
Unwieldy, impractical giant hat. And I tell you what, anyone with a bow and arrow is going to find him.
Is this his first model, or did he have like an old one?
No, this is his first.
No, this is a new guy. This is a new character. I mean, the artwork looks very based on Vlad Tepes.
Oh, I was thinking
100%. Yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah,
proper Vlad Tepes, right?
Are you saying he gets dragons and puts them on spikes like Sephiroth with the Midgard serpent? Because that would be pretty fucking badass.
Wouldn't it just? Bloody hell, impaled dragons. Good God.
Obviously, you get a team to do it for him, but I'd like that bit of lore if it was true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
well,
I mean...
I quite like how his entire purpose is to kill monsters. He is he who kills monsters. And that's, he's got the rules where is it? Should he kill an enemy model whose troop type is monstrous infantry, monstrous cavalry, monstrous creature, or behemoth during any combat phase, he gains the Terror special rule for the remainder of the game.
Oh, excellent. I mean, I don't know how Terror works in the old world, but in previous versions of Fantasy Battle, Terror was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Terror was a big deal. Greater Demons used to cause terror, and it was good. It was really good.
Units would just break and run.
Yeah, run away and then not be able to fight it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They would have, if they had terror, then the miniature automatically also caused fear as well, right?
Yes, that's correct.
If I remember correctly, yeah. That's so bloody hell.
Yeah, he's good fun. I quite like him.
He's cool. Yeah, he's really cool. I mean, he again proper old school looking mini, kind of an old school character too.
Is he resin or plastic? Do we know?
Resin. He's resin.
Oh, is he resin? Oh, that's annoying.
I'm not surprised.
Did we talk about the wizards? I can't remember.
No,
we didn't put the wizards up.
The wizards.
The
wizards.
wizards.
Are there old world wizards out now? Or coming?
It just hit me there that I don't know if we actually spoke about them.
Oh, I love him. Oh, wow. I love the voluminous sleeves. That's friggin' ace. Yep. Oh, he's lovely too. Oh, so you're going to get a wizard for each of the winds of magic, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much.
Presumably.
Well, they're usable by the Empire at least.
That's lovely. That's the Wizard of Moor, presumably, yeah?
Yeah,
Purple wizard.
Yep.
Yeah, it seems like they've only done 3, so there's still, a good few
lovely.
loads of laws they could do if they wanted to do.
Yeah, that's lovely. Love him.
I really like the green wizard with his.
He's almost Olaf. He's almost Olaf from Shadow of the Horned Rat. He's close enough that I'm happy. And he's got the cool frog.
He's got a little frog.
The frog is the
Are
best of the
these-
3 minions, easily.
I take it these are familiars, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
I like the tiny skeleton, but you can't beat a little frog.
No,
That's coming out of
the
a
little
bag.
frog is, I mean,
Well,
it's going to be hard to beat, isn't it?
Tiny skeleton's great. Frog with a bag is amazing, and gnome just covered in books is brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of these guys are just tip top.
Yeah.
They're lovely, aren't they? What's he? Which one's he? What law is he? The law of lights, maybe?
But the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's...
Which one's he?
Don't actually.
He looks like a
First.
light wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, if you painted him red, I mean, he doesn't have a super fiery hairstyle, but I guess he could
No,
work for
you're
a
right.
few different ones because he looks
Yeah.
generic enough. But I think
He does actually.
You
You're
might
right.
be right. Light just might be the one that just kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I suppose. Which is the law that can call down a meteor? What one's that? That's not light.
That's the
is it?
law. It's the law of the heavens, isn't it?
Is it
As he
heavens?
is.
I know it's blue in Total War Warhammer. I can't remember.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
the
dark.
one of us here.
I believe it's the law of the heavens. That
Yeah.
one.
He could work for that as well.
Does anybody else love the fact that the necromancer's skeleton is tiny?
I like it. Yeah, he's got a little
Tiny
bell.
tiny skeletons. There's a
Yeah, so-
long story tradition of like wizards in fantasy battle having tiny skeletons as familiars.
Makes me so
There's
happy to see.
been a tiny familiar for like a skeletal familiar for a long time.
I have a complete collection of the old familiars just because I love them to bits, and I have a
You sent
problem.
me a couple of the chaos ones, didn't you? They're lovely.
Yes, yes.
The fish with legs and the walking comb and whatnot.
I sent you some of the doubles that I had.
Yeah, they're very cool.
I love familiars.
They are
Familiars
going
in
on the
Scotland.
basis of Thousand Sun sorcerers, obviously.
Of course.
Good. Right, should
Oh,
we do
David says that what they've done, it's aesthetic only. They've left it quite open the way magic works. Apparently, so you don't have the
Yeah.
like,
I was just
that's
reading
it,
that.
celestial that's it, celestial wizards. Thanks, David.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The
it's
first
only
battle was in the
aesthetic.
colours of Middenheim.
Yeah, that's cool. That's actually a
Elementals.
really cool idea. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, though, if you get an Empire army, it's cannons, isn't it?
Mhm.
Cannons.
Yeah.
Wizard of Cannons.
Yeah. That's a dwarf.
I was going to say, yeah, that's a dwarf, isn't it?
Yeah, the Empire seems to have quite a lot of, not a lot of, they don't have a lot of like rank and file units that are new. A lot of the things seem to be like wizards and stuff, which is quite cool in its own right.
A lot of characters, right? Loads of characters
Feels
coming
like
out,
it.
which is nice. And they're great. All of them are really good. I mean, like back in Fantasy Battle, the Empire would be the one I just did not care about, like at all. It's just blokes, isn't it? It's just blokes.
In
Who
this
cares about
era, in this era, did Cathay exist? I imagine it probably did.
Ooh.
It did exist, yes, but
Yes.
yeah, nobody was getting to it.
No.
At this point, Cathay was being ruled over by a dragon who was a greater demon of Zench.
Oh.
Not an
Not-
actual
not
celestial
Galra.
dragon.
No.
Okay, because I know
was a
that
fake-
It wasn't.
fake dragon.
It wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't Galrow, was it? Like the father of Chaos Dragons that was possessed by a
remember.
greater demon of Zeke.
Possibly, but I can't remember.
Because
Mhm.
I think they'll
Interesting.
do. I think they do Cathay at some point because of Total War Warhammer, and Cathay is a very interesting army to look at visually.
Yeah. Once again, the old world just confuses me. I don't quite understand what they're doing.
Same. Not too fast though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it. Well, build.
The
for it,
miniatures
so.
are nice. I've got
Yeah.
to say, the miniatures are lovely. I'm
Oh, yeah,
very
absolutely.
impressed with the minis at the moment.
Wow.
There is in the latest White Dwarf actually a couple of old world armies, and one of them is a really old school looking Chaos Warrior army. And I must admit, seeing it did twinge something.
What
Mhm.
edition do you
It's like,
remember?
oh,
Like what were the
God.
Chaos Warriors? Like were they the multi-part Chaos Warriors, or were they the single post Chaos Warriors?
They were the Chaos Warriors that were available in the end times. The plastic ones that were not
they're
necessarily
they're not
multi-posed,
They're not as good. I
but
don't know.
had
I don't
like
love them.
they had the fur cloaks and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Eh,
They lined up really well and had no character to them.
Mhm.
yeah. The Hunched
Compared to the
Boys were way
multi-part.
better. Yeah.
They
Oh, the
were
ones, the
so
previous
good.
ones, the original
Yeah.
ones, the original plastic ones.
The first
Got a load of
multi-part
them somewhere,
kits,
actually.
Did you?
Yeah,
You still got
Yeah.
way
them?
back.
Yeah, I still got a load.
Way back when.
Love them to bits.
God almighty.
You should get them and paint them up. What are you doing?
They're on my list. I will get to it at some point.
I'll get to it.
Mm.
I bet Big D has like 20 of them anyway.
Oh, Big D's got 40.
I
50.
bet Big D's got all of the metal greater demons as well.
Oh, of course, yeah. Both the pre and post Ali Morrison ones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I mean, like, the greater demons, I mean, they've never had bad sculpts, really, but, like, the current lot are insanely good.
Oh, yeah.
That Great Unclean one is one of my favorite miniatures I've ever put together.
Mm-hmm.
Got to be. It's fantastic. And I loved the Trish Morrison one. I loved it to bits, but this one is like, it's exactly what a Great Unclean one is supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's what it's supposed to be, you know?
And then, of course, somebody made a clean version.
Yeah, someone cleaned it up, didn't they? They actually did the healthy version. The Great Clean one.
You actually look like the Duke from Resident Evil Village.
Yes.
Yes, it probably would.
Yeah.
Oh, man alive.
Oh my God, yeah.
The last story I was going to get into, there's not really much. I just wanted to point out how good does the new Hobgrot character look. You just love him. Just looks great. That's all I really wanted to say. Love him. You know,
Yeah, he is very cool.
Is that his blood on the sword, or is that somebody else's blood on the sword? Like, is he rubbing his hand over the blade?
Somebody else's. I think that meant to be somebody else's. I think he stabbed someone verily.
I wasn't sure if he was like shedding his own blood to like bloody up the blade to begin with.
Oh, right.
I don't know. You know, like the Klingons did, like do that kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, he's very cool. Lovely little mini.
So, all that being said, there's just a few things to close out on. One, because I completely forgot to mention it earlier on, I've been going through the Red Gobbo collection. If you guys have read any of that.
No.
Absolutely brilliant. They're absolutely wonderful. My favourite part of it, and this is the reason I wanted to bring it up, is that there is an orc with a needle gun that he stole off at Umi. And the needle gun is really good for shooting poisons into other orcs.
Oh no, he didn't steal it off Fabius Bile, did he?
It doesn't say who we got it from. It just says he got it.
It sounds like he might have nicked it off Fabius to me.
So they suddenly get all these like diseases and like all the skin burns off or something like that.
Brilliant.
But the cool thing about it is
Cyclops Needler. That's Cyclops Needler.
Mm-hmm.
That's Fabius Bile's weapon. I bet he's not happy about that.
No. But because it's a really good stealth weapon, this guy wanders around going bang, bang, bang whenever he pulls the trigger. And it's just
he does.
Orkiest thing, but he says it really quietly because he's trying to be stealthy. But he doesn't know if it doesn't make any noise, so he just wanders around under his breath going bang, bang, bang. And it's the best thing I've ever read. I love Mike Brooks.
Yeah, Mike Brooks is a great character writer, right?
Yes, 100%.
He really gets it, doesn't he? I mean, that's I can't remember what it's called. The one that he did about the Alpha Legion, not too long ago.
Sons of the Hydra.
Really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like really good. Quite shockingly good, actually.
I'm yet to find a bad Mike Brooks book, to be honest.
Yeah, he did the Huron book, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did the Huron Black Heart book, which was very good. The only thing about that one is I wanted more of it. I wanted it to carry on.
And his Black Orc books are, oh, God, so good.
Mm-hmm.
Just these Drakari, like, getting invaded by a load of orcs, breaking through the warp. It's like, well, shit.
Yeah. Although Beta Akari, they're probably going to enjoy it,
No, they get very stressed.
Do they?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Because they're trying to do all these like really elaborate plans to stop them, and
of course, which doesn't work.
No,
because it doesn't work against orcs.
So they're just watching as city after city just getting demolished. It's like
is that thing still canon? Where like I know it was the case in like 4th ed. There was a detail in the codex that said that orcs can't distinguish between like Craftworld Eltari and Drakari. They don't actually see any difference between them.
No, all knife ears are knife ears.
That's brilliant.
My favorite part of that book is where he just gets hold of a Drakari's arm and like snaps it. It's like, oh, okay. This Drakari's like lying on the floor screaming, pouring blood, and he says, That was really boring. It's like, oh. Well, my favourite bit of those books altogether, though, is the them breaking into a warlord titan and just staring at the human that's wired in. It's like, Umis are really weird.
They ain't wrong.
Just proper, like, confused. Like, why?
Yeah.
How does a Gargant work? How do they make a Gargant move out of interest?
Gargants are hilarious. They only work, again, because the orcs think they work.
Yeah, but what's the setup? Because clearly they don't have like a princeps, and they
no, they don't. They're crewed by masses of orcs, like metric tons of orcs and grots running around, putting out fires, pulling levers, making wheels move. That's how they work.
Is it just like there's a central bridge though for like a command orc?
I don't think there is. Not in a Gargant. Not in a Gargant. They go where they want to go, basically.
Yeah,
I wondered if there was like a knob or something who was the quote-unquote leader of the Gargant.
Well, they regard the Gargants as like manifestations of Mork and Gork, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of like let them go where they want to go.
So it's almost like So it's almost like a factory that they're just powering and it just does its stuff.
Yeah,
okay.
And making putting out all the fires that inevitably spring up when all the engines blow out and the wiring doesn't work and
how do
stuff
Titans
like that.
view Gargants then? Because they should be like antithetical to what they are, the machine spirit. Just be like, what the fuck is this?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
exactly
what I like.
that. Yeah. Exactly that. There was loads of background in how Gargants work in Epic. You remember the Epic where you had the Mega Gargants and the Imperator?
Yeah.
Loads of stuff how they work. So basically, like the Mega Gargants were like orc cities. They were that big. They were populated by like nations of orcs swarming with them, and they shouldn't work. Like all of orc technology, they shouldn't work, but they do. They do.
There's something else about the Red Gob I was going to mention, but it's gone completely out of my head.
I also remember there was a great battle report when that game was released where you had an Imperator Titan and against an Orc army, an Imperial army and an Orc army with 2 Mega Gargants in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great battle report. I mean, really stonkingly good.
I have to cover that one for the Patreon episodes.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun, actually. I remember reading it, like getting the copy of White Dwarf from the Derby Games Workshop when I went to visit my nan, and then spending like the entire time reading, like I was there reading that battle report.
Because that was back in the day when they wrote the battle reports, the story.
They wrote them narratively, right? Yeah. So there were loads of like random tables for Gargants, like Mega Gargants. Things would happen, like fires would spring up, bits would fail, bits would fall off, all sorts of nonsense would happen. And they were telling that as a story.
Mm-hmm.
They had this notion of like the thing swarming with orc, trying to keep it working, basically.
It's good. It's great stuff.
Mental. It's brilliant. Brilliant stuff. I love it. Love it to bits. And they are humans are weird. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're very weird. Humans are just strange creatures.
Absolutely, they are.
I'm with the orcs on. I think the orcs are going to be great.
I'm totally with the orcs on that one. They are weird.
Yeah. So, with all that being said, then, we shall start closing this down. Andy, where can people find you if they wanted to hunt you down like the decayed creature you are?
I'll be in my bedroom drinking resin tomorrow, probably. Yeah. I hear that's an important thing to do. You got to taste test each resin, see how each of them tastes.
It's an important part of the process. Yeah,
it is.
Soapy.
Yeah. Well, chemically. I'm on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube as Decayed Andy. I'm on the Moonbase 2 forums as well, and the podcast, and Moonbase 2 Transformers podcast. We do a live show for Moonbase 2 every Sunday at about 10 o'clock in the evening, and the rest of the time I'm streaming like 10:15, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. We're playing Dead Space at the moment, the remake.
Oh, the remake! Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it's fun. It's I like the controls work better. I don't like Isaac talking though. It's a bit weird, but it's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a bit odd, isn't it? He was silent in the original, wasn't he? And that kind of worked.
Yeah, it was the point.
You know?
I get why they wanted to do it. They did it in 2, and then it went well. It's weird they doesn't talk.
There are some bits that were edited out of the original game, which have been restored in the remake. And when you get to them, you're kind of like, yeah, they should have left them out. They should have left them out. But they're not great. Beyond that, it's pretty good. You know, it's a pretty good piece of work.
What about yourself, George? Where can people find you?
You can find me on the YouTube channel Exaggerated Elegy. There's going to be relatively soon. I've got another not the same log episode going up. We're going to be doing the Mask of the Red Death, the Roger Corman version, which is going to be great fun. Talking about that on Wednesday, so expect that sort of towards the end of the week. Published work, you can find all of my short story collections, links to them all, and all of the anthologies that I'm published in over on Strange Playgrounds or on the Evil Empire of Amazon. If you type in George Daniel Lee, find my Amazon author page, everything's available there. Arrow Films, Once More Onto the Breach, you can find the Hellraiser UHD and Blu-ray set, The Quartet of Torment. Myself and Macaulay Kit Power are on the Hellbound disc. We're on the featurette Hell Is What They Wanted, which is 1 hour and 48-minute chat about Hellraiser and Clive Barker and all that wonderful, wonderful stuff. And if you go to the Ginger Nuts of Horror, you can find my non-fiction ongoing series, My Life in Horror. There's a couple more bits and pieces going up there soon, including a really, really long, in-depth essay on the Silent Hill 2 remake. And I think that's for me for now. Or you can find me on Blue Sky as well, Exaggerated Elegy, if you want to come and chat.
You can find me on Blue Sky as AD Nickel. You can find me anywhere under AD Nickel. The more important stuff, though, is I have a book. Buy my book. It's a collection of short stories. It's a collection of poetry. It's a collection of pictures and art and ideas and concepts. It's a great big love letter to the very art of creation and being creative. But it's also a game of find the pig man. So if you can find all the pig men,
yes,
if you can find all the pig men, you don't win a prize, but you can believe that you did. I've got no prizes to give. Outside of that, the Fluffenhammer is obviously, you can find us at thefluffenhammer.co.uk. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Blue Sky, all that type of stuff. We are everywhere. Stuff comes out every day. Every single goddamn day, something is released. Every goddamn day. I have produced an Heavy Metal Galleries for 97 weeks consecutively.
Yeah.
You do it to yourself.
I know.
Yeah, it's true. It's self-inflicted.
Oh, don't worry. I read the Beast Arises. So what did I immediately do? I wrote a 12-part review series, which will be starting next week. This week, Wednesday. So this will be already out when... That'll already be out when this is out. So, yeah, I have problems. I force myself to write a Sunday Musings every Sunday, where I time myself at 90 minutes to write an article about whatever's in my head at the time, which could be anything from Nightmare through to the rise and fall of Gorka Morka. Sometimes I talk about Amiga point-and-click games, because that's where my head's at.
Oh, wow.
But most importantly, the Fluffies are sitting there ready for you to give your answers. The Fluffies are open until the 31st of January. So get yourself in there. Get your answers down. Don't forget to put the batshits in. We love the batshits. We demand your Fluffies. Do it. Or come around your house and shit in your sink.
Oh, no.
We need to create a shirt that says, give me Fluffy's daddy or something like that.
When we talk about the Fluffies, do you want me to do the theme song?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
But I want the theme tune to be a jovial version of the Terminator 2 theme tune.
It'll be the
jovial version.
No, it'll be the most generic tune that it gets played for apparently American university celebrations.
Okay.
I've minus myself, so in the stream I'll be quiet. Top of me, but I'll sound nice and quiet in recording. Well, for the stream.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. A-doodaloo. A-doodaloo-doo-doo. That's what I want.
I could actually probably minus my sound on Discord. That would work as well. Oh, you do vanish if I do that. I can figure it out.
So with all that being said, then we shall get out of here. Thank you so much to Andy and George for joining me through this collection of calamities. And thank you to you guys at home for listening, if indeed you still are.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.